Drivers nowadays still have to combat heat, as did their predecessors, but now we have intakes in the front, we have small vents on top of the aero screen, an air hose that directly connects to the driver's helmet, a drinks bottle, and a cool suit when it works. Overall, driver heat exhaustion is a minute issue, especially with how athletic drivers are nowadays. But this wasn't always the case, and those front intakes are mandated for a reason. In 1953, Tito became president of Yugoslavia, Dwight D. Eisenhower became president of the United States, the structure of DNA was discovered and presented, Joseph Stalin died, Queen Elizabeth II becomes queen and starts what would become the longest rule of a British monarch, the Korean War would end, and the 37th International 500-mile sweepstakes would be held, as usual. However, race day was boiling. Temperatures were over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and the track temperature was over 130 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat would prove a problem for cars, drivers, and the spectators, as 12 cars out of the fastest 33 would be running at the end of the day. Several members of the Purdue band would have to receive treatment. The floor of the cars got so hot that drivers would get burning blisters on their feet. 12 relief drivers would be drafted in to replace 10 drivers, as in these days the car finished, not the driver. Bill Vukovich, arguable conqueror of the Indy 500, would start from the pole, picking up where he left off last year, where he led 150 laps but would retire at the end of the race due to a steering failure. 7 finishers would remain in their car all day despite the blistering heat. Now, during the race, Carl Scarborough would make his first stop on lap 70 and he would collapse due to the heat and the fumes. He'd be extracted from the car and would rest on the pit wall while a fuel spill would cause a tiny fire which was put out by fire extinguishers. Because of the carbon monoxide that the extinguishers let out, he would lapse into unconsciousness. The ambulance would arrive 15 minutes later and he would be taken to a nearby hospital where his temperature was recorded at 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and it would continue to increase. They would give him 10 bottles of oxygen and try to resuscitate him through heart stimulants, surgery, and an open heart massage, but the carbon monoxide in his system complicated the respiratory problems he had. He may have also had a heart attack, and he would officially die due to heat exhaustion. Bill Vukovich would go on to avenge the previous year's 500 and would win his first Indy 500 by leading 195 out of the 200 laps that day. Bob Scott would bring the Curtis Craft machine home in 12th place. There would be a rule following the 1953 Indy 500 to ensure cars had better ventilation for the drivers, indirectly mandating front intakes for the drivers. No other driver has died from heat exhaustion during the Indy 500 since. If you guys like this short video, make sure to smash that like button for more. I know I said I was hoping for it to be longer. Turns out a lot of these good stories are pretty short. I'll see you later. Bye. Peace.